Bible stories are not ordinary stories. They are powerful stories that serve as a constant reminder of God's power and true love to us.
Chapter 1 Lesson. Lesson 1. Naomi must have been a very caring mother-in-law. She sets an example of love and shared her faith in the God of Israel. She clearly has a good relationship with her daughter-in-laws, because if she does not, they would have left her alone immediately her sons died. Some daughters-in-law can't even stay in the same room or home with their mother-in-law, because the mother-in-law chose to be wicked. But Naomi was different. Don't be a wicked mother-in-law. And to us all, don't be a wicked person. Let's learn to love people. Lesson 2. Naomi was a considerate person. She wished them well. She wanted them to remarry and have children. That was why she stopped them, advised them, and prayed for them as she gave the farewell speech at the beginning of the journey. She was not desperate to keep them with her. They had not traveled far when Naomi stopped and spoke to her daughters-in-law. She said, "You don't have to leave your country and travel with me to a strange land. Go back to your mother's house with your family and friends. May the Lord show you favor." But Ruth loved her mother-in-law. Ruth begged to stay and take care of Naomi, even if it meant rejection from Naomi's relatives. Ruth was drawn to Naomi and the God she served. She was ready to risk it all. That right there speaks volume of the relationship between them and the character of Naomi. Which means from your good character, you can win souls for Christ. Sometimes you don't even need to preach or announce yourself as a Christian. Just by being a good person, people can be drawn to the God you are serving. Lesson 3. Selflessness. Naomi made it clear to them that if they stayed with her, there is no hope of remarrying, because 1. They are going to a foreign land, they might not be accepted. 2. She is too old to remarry, and if fortunately, she gets lucky and does tonight, the same day, will they wait for the newborn child to grow and marry? So, Ruth had a full understanding of what she was going into. She was obviously not planning to remarry. She decided to follow her mother-in-law. She was not even thinking about moving on personally. Clearly, she wanted to dedicate the rest of her life to taking care of the old widow, Naomi. We see selflessness in Ruth. She followed her mother-in-law. Even though her husband was dead, she did not have to, and she does not have to give account to anyone. Because she loves her, she followed her to a foreign land. She said, "Don't urge me to leave you, or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried." Honestly, it was a very deep love, till death do us apart kind of love, which is extremely rare. She loves her to death. This is serious. Many people don't even love their family, friends, and so-called loved ones, genuinely. Imagine how wonderful of a person Naomi must have been, for Ruth to have fallen that deeply in love with her. Loving your mother-in-law to death? Really? Just think about it. Naomi had a heart of gold. Naomi's character is commendable, and Ruth reciprocating the love back to Naomi is commendable. When you do things, and not really expecting anything in return, God sees that, He honors that, and He will pay you in multiple folds. He will settle you. Be a good person. Have a good heart. Love God and love people. Be considerate. This is not just for mothers-in-laws. This for every one of us. Be a good human being. Please, I urge you, it pays. Lesson 4. Ruth was a Moabite. Moabites were descendants of Lot, but they were idolaters. The god they worshipped was Chemosh. Ruth said, "Your God will be my God." Who is Naomi's God? Naomi is an Israelite. Israelites worships Almighty God, Yahweh. Ruth accepts to worship the Almighty God as her God. The King of Kings, the God of Israel, the one that splits the Red Sea. God honors that. Ruth was willing to lay down her future to care for Naomi. We see a very unselfish woman who was humble and sincere. God is always at work in our lives, in the good and bad experiences. What we might consider bad may not be eternally bad, but a blessing. God has a plan for our lives. Seek Him and He will fill you with love and unselfishness. This will motivate you to touch, encourage, and be a blessing to others, even in those very difficult seasons of life. God searches the depth of our heart for the beauty that lies within. That beauty is expressed in our earnest desire to love and serve one another.